weekend, coming to you live from our News1st studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Naika, and as always, let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
General public charges that the intervention of the government in curbing dengue is insufficient. Is the decision to gazette the National Lotteries Board under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs legal? A natural death to the Anti-Corruption Committee Secretariat. Crisis in the Northern Provincial Council continues. India suffers top order collapse chasing 339 in Champions Trophy final.
But not a sea of blue.
And other stories in detail. Attorney General Jayantacharya Surya states that the FCID has handed in documents related to 75 cases into which the FCID has conducted investigations. And he noted that the Attorney General's department would take steps to file indictments as soon as they have thoroughly studied the cases that they have received.
According to the Attorney General, indictments have been filed against 15 of the cases completed by the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division. He added that some indictments have been delayed due to the length of the investigation reports. The government of good governance, which came into power on the 18th of August 2015, as promised during their campaigning, attempted to give prominence to cracking down on corruption that took place under the previous administration. It has been a year and 10 months since the present government came into power. On the 8th of last month, Newsfirst obtained information which revealed that over 35 cases which have been investigated by the FCID had been stuck in limbo as they were legal advice from the Attorney General's department. It was also revealed that some cases had been sent to the FCID over 3 years ago and that a majority of the cases were pertaining to dealings by members of the Rajapaksa family. There are only 12 more days for the tenure of the Anti-Corruption Secretariat, which was set up to support the Anti-Corruption Committee tasked with cracking down on large-scale fraud and corruption, which allegedly took place during the previous administration, to expire. The Anti-Corruption Committee, chaired by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, was set up based on a recommendation of the National Executive Council. The Anti-Corruption Secretariat was appointed for a period of 6 months and it has been extended on several occasions. The latest extension is set to expire on the 30th of this month. When inquired, Co-Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dayasila Jayasekara noted that he would be able to comment on the matter following the Cabinet meeting scheduled for Tuesday. Members of the Anti-Corruption Secretariat revealed to Newsfirst last month that during its tenure it had received a total of 465 complaints, adding that 275 had been directed to the FCID, 134 to the Bribery Commission and a further 30 complaints to the CID. The complaints had ranged from alleged malpractices committed by ministers and officials of the previous administration as well as ministers and ministry secretaries of the incumbent government. We can see that there is a concentrated effort to ensure that the institutions appointed by the government to crack down on fraud and corruption become defunct and eventually stop the investigations. The best example of this is the Anti-Corruption Secretariat. Their resources have been slashed. They are preparing to close it down and eventually stop these officials from conducting investigations. The large-scale fraud and corruption investigative commission has become defunct following the removal of Lasel de Silva. The commission has now been restricted to a mere placard. The Bribery Commission was going to become a powerful body through the 19th Amendment. However, this did not come into being. It has come to a point where politically sensitive cases are no longer being investigated.
The decision to gazette the National Lotteries Board under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs turned many heads. However, there may be a legal dispute brewing with regard to the decision.
The Island newspaper, citing sources, reports that according to the National Lotteries Board Act No. 11 of 1963, the Lotteries Board should be vested with the Minister of Finance. Section 22 of the Act reads, quote, "The Minister means the Minister to whom the subject or function of finance is assigned by the President," unquote. Asoka Obesekara, the Executive Director of Transparency International Sri Lanka, issuing a statement notes that, quote, "It would seem clear that assigning lotteries to any other minister other than the Finance Minister is incorrect in law and in contravention of the intentions of Parliament when passing the Act," unquote. Transparency International Sri Lanka calls on the President to correct the error in the Gazette notification and allay any fears that state bodies are retained as personal privileges.
National Lottery Board or any other lottery which were basically assigned to the Ministry of Finance. Why? The rationale behind that, direct monitoring, direct supervision, and directly they can see any misuse of funds. Now this has been allocated to Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Now the main thing is there it is getting a mess in the foreign ministry also. So this is a bad precedent. We have not seen in any country. We have not seen in any past history in Sri Lanka.
According to the National Lotteries Board website, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved the preparation of a new act for the NLB. The website states that a need has arisen to create a new act in order to make the Finance Act No. 11 of 1963, under which the NLB was established, compatible with present times. The NLB also stated that the amendments has also been recommended by COPA.
If any funds misuse, if any funds allocation is not directly done for that purpose to investigate, it will take a long time. This is not the good governance. So basically what we are saying, people aspiration. If I have invested money in a lottery, I know this is really basically monitored, supervised and also surveilled by Minister of Finance. But today I have a suspicion. All these things are, I think, bond number 2. So government should learn a lesson. Bond number 1, still the commission is there. We don't want to appoint another commission for these things. Finally, economic may be suppressed and people are really unconfident of these things.
The National Lotteries Board and the Development Lotteries Board have been assigned to Minister Ravi Karunanayake in an arbitrary manner. This has been done in contravention in all existing laws and acts. Ravi Karunanayake has brought these two institutions under the Foreign Ministry in an unlawful manner. This is a serious issue and the people are being misled. This is a serious blow to the people of this country that caused the political revolution on the 8th of January. We call on the President to intervene. The confidence placed in the Prime Minister is deteriorating with each passing day, especially because of the bond scam as well as the fate of the Anti-Corruption Secretariat. We have received reports which suggest that the Prime Minister's office is allowing the Secretariat to die a natural death. In such a backdrop, we call on the President to ensure that you safeguard the confidence placed in you by the people on the 8th of January.
With the turmoil in the Northern Provincial Council continuing to worsen, opposition leader R. Sambanthan has written a letter to the Chief Minister of the Northern Province, C.V. Viganeshwaran. The letter says that the opposition leader R. Sambanthan cannot provide the certification that the Chief Minister requires with regard to the situation in the Northern Provincial Council. The letter further says that the issue arose with the decision taken by the Chief Minister with regard to the 2 provincial ministers who were not found guilty by the Investigation Committee.
The letter questions whether the action taken against the 2 ministers who were not found guilty can be accepted. The opposition leader says that he cannot comprehend the fact that the Chief Minister has asked him to certify that the 2 ministers will not intimidate the complainants till the investigations are over. The opposition leader says that he cannot provide such a certification. The opposition leader, who is also the leader of the Tamil National Alliance, has stated that he will provide his support to resolve the matter. He has also said that he can advise the ministers not to intervene in the independent legal inquiry. R. Sambanthan says that the situation should be resolved as soon as possible. The situation arose after the Chief Minister took a decision to take disciplinary action against 4 provincial ministers in the Northern Provincial Council.
Now, journalists questioned the Chief Minister regarding the letter sent to him by the opposition leader. Chief Minister Viganeshwaran said that he had not read the letter and that he cannot provide a comment at this time. A discussion between the Chief Minister and the leaders of the constituent parties of the Tamil National Alliance is currently being held. Moving on to another one of our headline-making stories, our correspondents around the island report that people of several districts have been greatly inconvenienced due to dengue epidemic. Meanwhile, cleaning activities in dengue high-risk areas commenced today with the intervention of the army and police. The cleaning up at the St. Aloysius College in Rothapura, which is identified as a dengue high-risk zone, commenced this morning. The Sri Lanka Army, Police, Past Pupils Association and students assisted in the cleaning operations. A tense situation arose when the group tried to clean an open-air storage facility adjacent to the school. The owner of the storage facility objected to the group entering the premises. The amount of dengue-related deaths in the past 6 months stands at 200. 63,987 suspected dengue patients have been reported in the same time frame, while 23,814 patients were reported in the first 6 months of last year. Of the dengue patients receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital, 40 patients are in critical condition.
There are 225 patients suspected of dengue. Around 40 out of the 225 live in dengue risk areas. This situation may worsen. Patients with fever who arrive at the OPD will be treated separately.
Meanwhile, the government introduced various national programs to curb the spread of dengue. In March, the Health Minister decided to recruit 500 individuals as assistants of the dengue prevention unit. With the spread of dengue in the Kenya area, 168 fumigation machines were purchased and used. As a solution to the shortage of medicine, 5,000 antibiotic vaccines were imported from Thailand. The Ministry of Health also took steps to set up new wards at hospitals to combat the deadly disease. Apart from this, the government also took measures to declare dengue eradication weeks on several locations. In order to manage the garbage, the Health Ministry purchased 50 trucks from a private vehicle importing company. The fact that there doesn't seem to be a decrease in the number of dengue patients when compared to the number of programs undertaken is indeed disappointing.
The problem is, dengue did not start this year. This has been there for the past 20 to 25 years. Every year, over 5,000 individuals contract the virus, and there are 100 to 150 deaths each year. The question is, what did the governments that were in power and the incumbent government do to prevent dengue from spreading? On one side, the funds allocated for the prevention of dengue were spent on other things. They blamed the general public on their mistakes. What the government wanted to do was to earn some money by fining the people. The government has totally failed when it comes to dengue. Not just that, they have failed in everything.
The rapid spread of dengue is now a topic that is being picked up by politicians as well.
Dengue is spreading day by day. The local government bodies being made passive could be seen as the main reason for this. Minister Rajitha Senratne says that dengue spreads when a country is developing. Then the countries with the least amount of development should be the countries with no dengue at all. You cannot put this under the carpet by making such absurd statements. The Prime Minister comes back from the USA and says that the health system is good there and that there should be a mechanism for our ministers and MPs to go there. Mangala in the past said very distinctly that Ranil is a person who cannot do the job. That is being proved at present.
Speaking in Matra today, JVP parliamentarian Sunil Haun was highly critical of the manner in which the dengue situation in the country is being handled.
They give speeches which suggest massive fines on the people and to suppress them. It appears that they are trying to forcefully eradicate dengue by imposing fines on the people. Yesterday, Rajitha Senratne said that a mosquito will be brought down from Australia as a measure to eradicate the dengue mosquito. Well, the question is, does this particular Australian mosquito eat rice instead of sucking blood? This is going to lead to a whole new menace. A type of bacteria was brought down from Cuba for the dengue mosquito, but no response is given after that. Wonder if it is because Cuba is a socialist country. Solutions have to be found to this issue. The fact that local government authorities are defunct is also a cause for this issue.
Police media spokesperson DIG Priyantha Chakodi states that they are hoping to crack down on websites and social media platforms that spread racist ideologies as soon as they receive legal advice from the Attorney General's Department.
14 individuals have been arrested following investigations into incidents that violated racial coexistence. The investigations revealed that activists of the Bodubala Sena are involved in all these incidents. We also hope to take action against individuals who incite racial tensions through the use of various social media websites after obtaining advice from the Attorney General's Department.
Journalists inquired into the progress of investigations into the apprehension of Venerable Galagoda Atte Gnanasara Thera.
There are various stories currently circulating in the media. However, the Sri Lanka police rejects all these rumours. Police investigations are continuing. Statements that Yanasara Thero is being concealed by MPs or ministers is merely political talk. If anyone is concealing an individual against whom a warrant has been issued, there is legal provisions to take action against them as well.
Intentionally, චේතනාන්විතව සංගවන්න යම් කිසි කෙනෙක් ක්‍රියා කරනවා නම් ඔහුට විරුද්ධව සාමාන්‍ය නීතිය යටතේ ක්‍රියා කිරීමට අවශ්‍ය නෛතික ප්‍රතිපාදන අපේ නෛතික පද්ධතිය තුළ තියෙනවා.
The United National Party convened a media briefing at the party headquarters, Sirikota, today.
Those who took law into their hands more than him were not arrested. People like Mahinda Rajapaksa, Sarath Fonseka's son-in-law,
Meanwhile, Minister Kayantha Karnatilaka commented on providing of land to those who were affected by disasters.
The government is currently focusing on renovating damaged houses and business establishments. Especially the three armed forces, together with the Ministry of Housing and the Ministry of Vocational Training, are ready to launch the project of building houses. All district secretaries, divisional secretaries have been informed to commence identifying suitable lands. As soon as we receive the report, our ministry is ready to intervene and start distributing land.
Addressing a special workshop organized for members of the media, Speaker Karuja Suresh shared these views on the activities of the COPA and the Committee on Public Accounts, or COPA.
Both COPA and COPA have done a lot of work unlike in the past. However, we are yet to fully utilize their findings and work. As the Speaker, I am saddened by this. Both COPA and COPA's recent reports highlight fraud and corruption that has taken place. However, these findings don't enter the mainstream properly. We are yet to focus proper attention on some of the Auditor General's reports on certain local government bodies.
You're watching News First, and let's now take a look at our investigative journalism segment, Action TV.
Parents of the Navala President's Primary Girls' School in Madin Nagoda gathered in this manner, calling on officials to ensure the safety and security of their children at the school. An event was held on the school grounds recently, and it was graced by the Minister of Sports as well. During the event, the Sports Minister laid the foundation stone for a sports pavilion to be constructed on the premises of the school grounds. The project is to be funded by the Ministry of Sports. Last Wednesday, the Secretary to the Western Provincial Ministry of Education wrote a letter to the Secretary to the Ministry of Sports which describes the proper steps that need to be undertaken for such a project. However, instead of constructing this pavilion with the approval of the Western Province Ministry of Education and under the supervision of the school principal, it seems that Sports Ministry officials are working according to the agenda of an external sports club in the area. After I got married and settled down in this area, I walked around the area and checked if there is a place for a jog in the morning. I couldn't find a place, so I exercised in this area. The sports club in this area had a discussion with me. Even I want to get this done for them. We have now made the allocations and awarded the tender. However, there were delays because you asked for several changes to the project after the tender was awarded. However, these changes have been made. In the future, even I might come to the gymnasium being built here and use the weights. According to the principal of the school, external parties are utilizing this ground in order to earn large sums of money. She also noted that there are some unsavory situations that occurred due to such individuals.
These sports clubs earn money by loaning out other sports grounds to various other entities. Incidents happen which threaten the security as well as the health of the students. We cannot even mention some of the things that happen to the media. This happened to me as well as my predecessors. Since we need to protect the school, I went to the Ministry of Sports and informed the Minister that this activity should be done through the zonal educational officers.
This ground is being utilized by the primary section of the President's Girls' School in Navala, which has a student population of over 3,000, as well as several other schools in the area. Allocating public funds to develop such a sports ground is not a crime. However, deviating from accepted norms and directly attempting to wrestle ownership of this ground away from the school defies the standards of good governance. Western Province Minister of Education, this is over to you.
Also in local news, a suspect has been arrested in the seas of Kalpitia while smuggling 2,089 star tortoises into the country. Navy media spokesperson Lieutenant Commander Chaminda Walakulake said that the suspect was arrested and the dingy boat seized based on intelligence received to the SLNS Vijaya. According to the Navy, it's suspected that the star tortoises were being smuggled in from India. The suspect is to be handed over to the Sinnapadu customs officials. The Private Bus Owners Association charges that the malpractices that took place when issuing route permits under the previous administration is continuing to take place under the Good Governance government as well. The association charges that this violates the rights of the bus owners.
According to a report published on the Ceylon Today newspaper, Transport Minister Nimal Siripal de Silva has said that nearly 2,095 files of the National Transport Commission had been taken to the Financial Crimes Investigation Division to probe malpractices during the previous regime. The National Transport Commission is repeating the actions of the previous administration. On the 6th of August 2016, the government published an advertisement to issue 78 route permits. The final date, as mentioned in the advert, was the 30th of August. The National Transport Commission and its chairman extended the time by 2 weeks, citing a spelling mistake in one of their adverts on an English paper. They have not been able to implement the tender process properly. Even now, buses operating on the expressway belong to racketeers. The government loses millions of rupees because of this. Just like the previous administration, the current government is also not adopting a transparent process when it comes to issuing route permits for expressway buses. We witnessed that the previous administration issued over 80 such route permits to political affiliates. The current administration is also repeating the same mistakes. We feel that the current Minister of Transport is engaging in this wrongful act. We can state responsibly that the rights of bus owners are being violated through the issuing of route permits.
Newsfirst inquired into the matter from the chairman of the National Transport Commission, MAP Hemachandra, and he noted that the commission currently operates in line with the court order, adding that proper tender process is followed. Chasing 339 for victory, India were bowled out for 158 runs. Pakistan won the ICC Champions Trophy by 180 runs. And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.